your anime waifus being set on fire. Literally. Hi and welcome back to the channel. I'm Steven from X Kurogane Studio with some additional spicy figure news fix. You know, I'm supposed to be publishing more figure reviews, but we have some breaking news over here that we need to cover, and these are time-sensitive events. And one of the news over here involves your anime waifus being set on fire. Literally. While the other one, your typical cosplayer and third-party resin brand drama, we will get to that in a second. So the first one right here, this was originally posted on the subreddit r/Honkai Star Rail first. The factory of the Myethos brand was deliberately set on fire, causing delays for some Honkai Star Rail collaboration merchandise. And then a few hours later, a video was posted over here on r/Anime Figures subreddit. Arson at Myethos factory, figures delayed. So before we watch the video together, a summary right here. According to Myethos' Weibo account, at approximately 1:34 AM on January 23rd, a person deliberately set fire to Myethos' manufacturing plant as seen in the video. The arsonist was a subcontracted mover who had access to the area. Although the fire was contained, some of the figures that were shipping in China in January have been damaged and thus delayed. The first one here, Honkai Star Rail Diorama Granmei. This is like a 3D photo frame, which is also a figure, pretty unique. Not sure how many people pre-ordered this. Delayed until February 3, barely 2 weeks. What the heck? Maybe the damage was pretty minimal. The next one here, Arc Knight's Gift Plus W, cannot wait for version. Low budget figure, delayed to the 6th of February. Once again, barely a delay, and I really like this low budget figure a lot. Meanwhile, the next one that got a delay, Helena from Azalane, also to the 6th of February. And this is barely, slightly better than a price figure. I wouldn't bother with this one. And lastly, the fourth one to be delayed, Arc Knight's Texas, a proper scale figure, delayed to the 10th of February. So roughly 3 weeks of delay. And given that this is pretty close to Chinese New Year, maybe the ones who purchased or pre-ordered it won't even receive her until March. Yeah. This is something that I'm really interested in, but I'm not sure yet. So 4 figures are delayed, and maybe a few other Honkai Star Rail merchandise that are not anime figures. No injuries were reported, and the case has been handed to Chinese authorities. What is interesting is that the delays are so minimal, 2 to 3 weeks, and Myethos only announced this in their Weibo account in China. They did not even announce this in Twitter or X, for example. So maybe the delay was so minimal that it wasn't worth mentioning. I have no idea. And here we go with the video right here. You know, dude was using a lighter to light things up, and immediately there is a big flame. I have no idea how can you set such a big flame within seconds with a lighter. Maybe dude has bought some flammable materials over that stash of figures in advance, like thinner, gasoline, who knows, right? There's no way you can set a flame this big with a small lighter this quickly within a few seconds. And what is funny is that they tried using a fire extinguisher only to make things worse. Wait for it. Let's wait for it. Look, so there were people asking, how is this possible? The fire extinguisher is supposed to put out the flames, right? The answer is simple. There are at least 3 or 4 different types of fire extinguishers. Some are meant for electrical fires, some are meant for maybe EV fires, electric cars, and some are all-purpose, can be used for anything. So the ones that lit the flames over there, I'm not sure if that is a carbon dioxide based extinguisher or something like that. I'm not too sure about fire extinguisher stuff. But the most common ones here we have in my country is the ABC powder, as they call it, that is more versatile, can be used to put out almost anything, maybe except the fires you see in an electric car. And that video actually originated from Bilibili right here, and I'm keeping the video on mute for now. So, what is the reason for this, right? I think it is one of those classic cases of a disgruntled employee who isn't happy with something and he felt like he was being neglected. His voice isn't being heard by the management, so he had to do something radical to catch the company's attention. Though this is not the right way to do it, obviously. This is purely my own conjecture, my own guess, my own hypothesis, though I don't think I'm that far off. But no matter what you do, this is not the right way to do it because you will simply end up in prison. So, yeah. Moving on to our next piece of news over here. Cosplayer Aka Purin has her viral Chainsaw Man cosplay turned into a figure without permission. Okay, before I comment, let's read this news over here. Cosplayer Aka Purin received some unpleasant news after discovering that one of her most popular cosplay photos had been turned into a figure without her permission. Aka Purin is a cosplayer with just 34,000 subscribers who went viral in October 2025 with an incredible Reze cosplay from Chainsaw Man, reaching 3.6 million views. Her cosplay was shared in several places, and I remember thinking about making a post about it at the time, but it never happened. This picture right here, does it look familiar to you? Because I covered the figure a couple of weeks ago. It looked amazing, right? And now in January, an unofficial Reze figure has appeared that completely imitates Purin's pose, and the cosplayer was not happy when she saw it. To start with, here is the figure. Yep, I covered this. This is by Lash Studio. This one right here. So depending on which one you get, this one begins at $359. If you get both the Reze and the Bomb version, up to $642, and that is 1x4 scale. So the pricing is reasonable. Now getting back to this news over here, we have already published several times about these alternative figures which usually have adult versions, and this one is one of those cases. But getting back to the point, as you can see, the figure is entirely based on Purin's cosplay photo, and she had to say about it, if you are going to base a figure on someone's photo without them knowing, couldn't you at least give credit? The figure is being sold for staggering, is that in rupees? No idea. I'm not sure what currency is that. But anyways, this is not the first time a figure has been based on a cosplayer. There was a power figure in the past that went through the same thing. Okay. My reaction to this is very simple. Number one, the cosplayer does not own the rights to the character Reze or to the anime and manga Chainsaw Man. It is Studio Mappa and whoever the mangaka is who owns the right to this character over here. And number two, no matter what kind of pose you can come up with for your photography, you cannot copyright the pose. It may be infuriating that some third-party unlicensed figure brand is taking a photograph and turning it into a product for profit. You can't really do anything about it because you don't own the rights to the pose or the character. I do agree that maybe a little bit of credit is due. The studio should at least credit the cosplayer and acknowledge that she is the inspiration behind this figurine. But outside of that, the cosplayer can't really do anything. She doesn't own the rights. So that is what I think about this. And one more thing that this article is wrong about, this paragraph over here, we have already published several times about these alternative figures, which usually have adult versions. No, this figure of Reze by Lash Studio is not customable. This is all you get. So what do you think about the Myethos arson case and also this drama involving a cosplayer? I would love to hear your thoughts on this. And that is all for today's Figure News Fix. And until then, if you found this video maybe interesting, please give it a like and subscribe to this channel for more anime figure content. And until then, thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.